Hello, this is Roger from WeAllPlaycast with a guide on FTBUtilities and FTBTweaks, two new mods that have come out with the release of Infinity Evolved. We're going to get started right into the player's guide where every player will be able to access these commands. So we'll take a look. If we open up our inventory, there are a few icons on the left-hand side of your inventory, and we'll start with the very first one. This is our friends list. And when we click on this, I'm on the FTB1 server at the moment. So that you can also see there's been a lot of people that have played on this, and some of them are my friends, some of them are not, and there's a few reasons for that, but this is where all of the friend management will take place. Let's take a look at, first of all, I am my own friend, so I have a green icon around there. That means you are currently friends with somebody. Cricket right here has a yellow icon, which means that it's a pending friend request. He has sent a friend request to me, but I have not accepted it. Now, somebody that once I do have it accepted, as we can see here with Hermie, I have accepted the friend request, and therefore it is a green icon. Now, if I would say, for instance, go to Cletho and say add as friend, you'll notice there's a blue icon, which means there's a pending friend request from me to her. So that's what the three icons mean. And that's basically how you do the friend request. And if you would like to cancel a friend, say if I wanted to make Hermie not my friend any longer, I can right-click and say remove from friends, and that's all that it would take. That's all you do for all of the friend request portions of it. Now we'll talk about exactly what does it mean to be a friend within FTB Utilities here. So within FTB Utilities, there's also another option here. We're going to skip the book for now, and we'll go right down to the map. If we go down to the map icon here, that will allow us to claim chunks. As you can see, I've claimed quite a few chunks that are in here, and there are a few things that you can do with your claim chunks. A lot of these depend on how the settings are built on your server, but for the most part, what this means is that you or your friends can build and modify any blocks within that chunk. So I'm just going to claim a few things here. Now, if you notice right down here in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a total of 1,000 that I can claim, and that is set by the server config file as well. Now, what I can do with this chunk is I could say it is private. Private means that even your friends cannot interact with these blocks. Only you can. You can set it to friends, which means you and your friends can interact with any blocks that are here, or you can set it to public, which means you've claimed the chunk, so nobody else can claim it, but everybody can access all the things. I usually want to set this to friends, and that's probably where you want everything to happen. And this is universal for all of your claim chunks. Every single one of your claim chunks is now to this setting. For right now, that will be anybody that is my friend can interact with blocks within my claim chunks. Now let's take a look at here. There's an explosions thing. This is also set by the server of which you're playing. But you could turn off explosions within your chunks, which means if a creeper blows up, it won't blow up half your base. You'll be able to just disable the explosions within your claim chunks. However, if you go out into the wilderness, they will still explode as normal. And that is the claim chunks. And that is a lot of what happens within the friends list portion. And there's also a really cool feature here where you can see how many deaths they had, how many minutes have been played, how long ago they've joined, and a few different stats that are here in the upper right-hand corner of all the different people that are on the server that you're playing with. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at all of our settings that we have in FTB Utilities. We have player decorators, which is something that shows up on the lapel above your armor on your character. The My Player Decorators is basically, player decorators is for everybody's. My Player Decorators is just for your own. You can also enable or dictionary names and register names if you want to see a little bit more information. You can also see the options button and also chat links. And chat links are if somebody would put a link into chat. It'll actually shorten it so it makes a clickable link that will open up a web browser to that page. Now, it's just briefly on player decorators. I'll show you on my character itself. On the very front there, you see there's a little FTB. That is what the player decorator is. Now, there are those that are going to be set across the entire board for all of FTB that you'll have that exact same player decorator on any server that you would join, but this is also something that can be set specifically for server owners. So individual server owners can also have their own individual tags that they can give out to the players for various different things. And again, once again, that is if I would turn this off, I will not see that player decorator for anyone. If I turn it back on, I will see everyone's, and that is in the config option there. And if I turn off my player decorators, I won't see my own, but I will see everybody else's. So that is all of the config options within FTB Utilities, within in-game. Moving right along, we'll go to the info button. Now, this one is a little bit different depending if you're an op on the server or if you are if you don't have op on the server. So the first one is if you take a look at server tops, you'll be able to see this, and everybody can see this information, like the age, like how long people have been on the server, like when they first logged in until now, like how long have they been on the server. Deaths, like how many deaths there are, and we could go deaths per hour. Deaths per hour is always a really fun stat to play with people. You can see when were they last seen, and you can see the total time played. That's all those stats are available in the book, and we could go to other. Now, other is something that is going to be only available to an operator of the server, or if you're opt in your single-player world. The entities here will show you a list of all of the entities that are available, and it's very, very easy to see. Okay, these are all the identities of the entities that are there. It's easy to disable them, all those types of things. You can also see all of the enchantment IDs, all of these as well. It's really, really handy book for those that are server owners. You can see all of that information right there. And that is, again, right underneath the information tab that's here. Last step that you will see in the left-hand side is this little book that's right here. This is a guidebook. Now, this is currently set to Infinity Expert Mode. So we have all of the getting started, the tech trees, the magic tree, the tips, and a new section, the admin commands. These are the commands that are available to you to run various things. Most of them are server operator-only commands, but many of these are also available to anybody that's a non-op, and we'll go through those just briefly. So right now, we can just take a look at a few of these commands, although it's always going to be here for reference, and this is whether you're in expert mode or a normal mode. Doesn't matter. These are common files that will always be in this book no matter what mode you're in. FTB library, which is basically a parent mod, so you're able to use utilities and tweaks separately, but they will do the reload, which is reloading all the configs and server and clients, and that can be done live while the server is online. You can get the world UUID by running the FTB world ID. You can get the mode list, which will show all of the available modes. Currently in Infinity Evolved, there are 2 modes. There are normal and expert mode. But if you had more than one, that will list all of those there. Mode get will currently get the current mode of the world that you're in. And this is how you set it. And this can only be done by admins. FTB set mode. So if you had, for instance, Infinity Evolved, world set mode to normal will put the entire server into normal. FTB mode set expert will put the world into expert mode. Very, very simple switch, and that can also be done live on the server. It does not require a restart at all. Let's take a look at a lot of the FTB utilities, and I'll explain briefly the ones that you need to be opt for and the ones that you do not need to be opt for. So let's take a look at a few things here. The first one is /back. Teleports player to last death location. That is an opt command, but very powerful. /spawn teleports a player to the overworld spawn. Also an opt command. TPL player, very, very good and powerful command. TPL player will teleport you to the player if they're online, or, this is the important part, teleport you to the last location if they are offline. That is also an opt command. Warp ID is a very, very powerful one that is set by the server owners, and this is available to those who are not opt on the server. So say, for instance, you had a warp that you wanted to set for spawn. So a player can simply type in warp spawn, and there they go. You're instantly teleported to the spawn. Now, on our server, we have 3 different ones that are set, and these, are, again, are set by the server owner. And one of the easiest ways to do is we've already done the Ender Dragon fight, so we can warp to the end. And when I warp to the end, that'll allow me to teleport right back to my base by jumping through a portal, which is a really, really handy tool to get to spawn, have a meet up with somebody, maybe get a bit of some trading done, different things like that, and then hop right back into your base, beat Minecraft, of course, and then you get right back to where you set your spawn location. Very, very powerful tool. And once again, that is set through the admin commands, which we'll get into a little bit later. Let's go through the last few that are in the book here. In the commands, on the admin commands and FTB utilities, admin reload, it will reload the config files for server and clients. The admin set item name, and then the name. It will set the item display name for the held item. So you can do that while that is live as well. It may require a reload in order for that to take place across server, but that will set a name for any item. Admin inventory C. This is absolutely amazing. One of the greatest admin tools I've ever seen. So this is, again, all of the admin tools will require you to be an op on the server in order to use. But the admin inventory C allows you to see in real time another player's inventory. So if I would do admin, oh, no, I can't do that in NEI. If I would go to our console here and admin inventory C, and let's see who's online right now. Looks like Gaz and Mr. Flamegoat and the only Bentley. So let's look at Gaz's inventory. So this is currently exactly what's in his inventory, and you can interact with it. I could take these apples out, I can put them right back in, and that's exactly what he'll see. It's a good way. It's been a good way to kind of like mess with the players on your server, but it's also a very, very powerful tool in order for you to see what they have. If there's something that it was been taken away from them or something that they need, it's a very, very easy tool in order to see what they have. What you can give the items to them right away, directly into their inventory. Extremely, extremely powerful tool for admin. Next up into the book, we have our, and under FTB Utilities, is admin set warp ID. So what this is where I was using those warp commands before. You would go to a specific place of where you want to set the warp, and you do admin set warp, and then whatever name you would like to name that warp point. For our case, it's going to be spawn, end, and digger, which our digger is the our mining age. Admin delete warp ID is exactly the opposite. It takes one of those warp points away. Admin unclaim. So we went before a little bit earlier into claiming chunks as so. And I haven't done this before, so I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do admin unclaim. All right, unclaimed. Now let's take a look at the map again. And now that chunk has now been unclaimed. So what can actually happen here, I'll claim it back because it is my base. But what has happened here is if somebody starts to claim things that they should not have, an admin could go through and unclaim those chunks, making it very simple to kind of take away some of the abuse that may occur with the chunk claiming portion of it. More on the admin commands on FTB Utilities. We have our world border. Now, world border is a very, very powerful thing. I will skip to a single player world and really show how all of this works. But basically what all of these commands will do is you can turn the world border on and off. You can get the world border size for the current dimension. You can set the world border here, which is the dim, which is which dimension that you're in, and the radius. Then you can also change the center point to your current location, or you can set it to a remote location. And then you can also do, and that's the world border. Now you can also do some inventory management with the players themselves. So you can save somebody's inventory, you can load somebody's inventory, and you can also do the custom name inventories. Now if you see, there is actually where these files are located is under local FTBU, player in INVS, which is inventories. But if you do a custom one, it will put it in a custom folder underneath, making it very, very easy, almost to take an inventory from one server and put it to another. It's really, really simple. And then there is a pop-up notification that you can send to the player as well. Admin player notify the player name, and then what notification you would like to say in a JSON format. So those are all of the in-game commands that you can use. I would like to do now is hop over to a single player world. Therefore, you can see how all of the world border gets put into action. Okay, now that we're in our single player world, we can start to take a look at all of the world border options that we do have. And once again, if we go back to the book, we can look at our admin commands under FTB Utilities. You could see all of the different world border options that you do have. What I'd like to do is set one right now, and we'll do a couple things just to kind of show off a few features with it. If I do /admin world border center, it will set the world border center to the player's current location. Now, right now I'm at spawn, so let's do that. Let's try the admin world border center. So that's centering it on me right now. Boop. All right, the world border has been set to my current location. Now let's go ahead and set the world border. World border, and then, oh, I'm sorry, it's admin first. It's an admin command. Admin world border. And you can always tab complete all of these different commands as well. Set dimension number, which in this case is 0, and we'll set it to something small so we can actually see it. So we'll do a 20 radius around us. So if I go 20 blocks out, I should now see that there should be a world border. Actually, I think I have to turn the world border on. That's probably a good idea. So let's try that real quick, and then I'll show off that command as well. World border on. World border has been enabled, and now I am outside of it. Oh, I've reached the world border, and if you could see what happened there was perfect. It actually teleported me right back to spawn. Yep, as soon as that happened, as soon as I tried to go through that, even as an op, you've reached the world border, it sent me directly back to spawn. So it's a very powerful tool in order to limit all of the different things, and you can, it's an admin world border, off, if you want to go and explore just a little bit. And then you can turn it back on, and instantly, if you go a little bit too far out, world border on. Boop. Oh, I guess. Oh, there we go. I was outside the world border. So there you guys go. That's exactly how the world border things work. Now, let's talk about the mode switching. This is within the mod of FTBTweaks. And the way that we could do the mode switching, this is something that a lot of people want to do when you first boot up the server. Before everybody gets once the world gen is all complete, you would like to change it into expert mode. So let's take a look at a few of those commands as well. If we look at FTB, and if you press tab with FTB, it also put an underscore under there, and then you could do the mode. Now these are where we're going to show off a lot of this stuff. So if we take our mode, we can go get. So we can see what is our current mode right now. The game mode is currently expert. So let's say we want to change that. FTB, again I tabbed, and then mode, set, and then I can hit tab, and then right now we have two available, which is expert and normal. We'll set it to normal. All of those things will change over, and now we're in normal mode. And once again, if I run the get command, we were in mode normal. So what that does is that changes all the recipes. So now if I look at the kinetic wind generator, the recipe for that, we're back to like the normal recipe. Now, let's show off a little bit better one. How about the Quarry? The Quarry is a really good recipe for this. All right, so there is our normal mode recipe. Nothing special, nothing crazy. But now let's go ahead and switch it back to expert mode. Set to expert. And it'll take just a second because that's quite a few scripts to load up. You have one little lag spike, and now we're set to expert mode. Now if I take a look at the Quarry recipe, I'll cheat those in real quick. Now we're into the expert mode recipes. So it's a really, really easy, quick command that you can switch back and forth. No server reset needed. You can go into that, and that works with single player. You just have to be an op, whether it's in your single player world or whether that is on your server. So those are all the commands that you can run on all of those things. Okay, now let's take a look at the guidebook that's here. The guidebook here is something that gets shipped with Infinity Evolved, and it's set to whether you're in expert mode or normal. The guidebook will change. There is a directory structure behind this that will enable the plain text commands to be set within this guidebook, and all of these are exactly the same title of which they are in the guidebook. Now, a couple of really cool things is you can have one set for expert mode in Infinity Evolved's case, or in normal mode, different guidebooks, or you can have a common, which will show up in all of them. For instance, the admin commands that you will see for FTB Utilities and for FTB Library, both are going to be in both normal and expert mode for FTB Utilities. And that pretty much sums up all of the things that you can do within FTB Utilities and FTBTweaks in-game. I hope you guys have seen how powerful of a tool this could really be for not only server owners, but for players themselves. So I hope you enjoy using it, and we're looking forward to all of the wonderful things that you will come up with while using these two new mods. Thank you very much, and hope to see you soon.